What's up, everybody? Welcome to Move the Sticks. DJ and Bucky with you. And Buck, we got some games we want to preview. Before we do that, though, I want to encourage everybody, if you haven't, check out our episode with Tom Telesco. I think you guys will enjoy that one. Former general manager of the Chargers and the Raiders. It's a great conversation with him. I think you will really, really enjoy that. And I wanted to ask you one thing off the top before we get into the NFL stuff. We've got signing day coming up. It's not that far away, a couple weeks away, I believe. And I want to know, if someone who's known you for 20 years, Bucky Brooks, the recruit in the NIL era, what are you asking for here? What are you looking for? I'm the coach. We want to make you happy. We want you to come. But, like, what do we need to do to get Bucky Brooks?
I'm so far removed from this era. It's hard to even think about what you really ask, right? Because the things that were front of mind, DJ, I'm be funny. It's funny now to think about it.
Used to be pretty girls.
You want to have a great visit. You want to go somewhere where, like, the degree matters, so you can get a job when it's all said and done. All those things. Like, yeah, you want to have a good time on the visit. You would get basketball tickets. Like, can I get some tickets to the thing or whatever? Like, now what these guys are asking for, I can't even fathom being 18, 19 years old, walking into a bag full of cash and just knowing that you're going to keep getting. I just can't even imagine what that is like. I will say, because we've done this on previous shows, things that get on your nerves. DJ, the hat thing on signing day gets on my nerves.
When they toss the hat away.
It drives me crazy because I think it's so disrespectful to other
those coaches have invested so much time in this whole thing.
Man, I think it's so disrespectful. Like, throw this one. No. And then you unveil the jersey. Be better. And I know I sound like the old man on the porch, get off my yacht, but it drives me crazy when I see it. There's nothing fun about the signing day troll. I don't enjoy it.
So if this was Carolina coming, say you're getting everybody in the country is coming at you. If I think I know you well, because I've already got my idea of how I would recruit you, of what I'm doing. Because everybody else is going to be like, okay, we got your money lined up. Signing bonus car, like that's kind of the standard, right? Signing bonus car. Not with Bucky. With Bucky, I'm going, okay, here's our money. We're going to be competitive with our finances. We got your money squared away there, so we're good there. We're in the ballpark. Might be a little less, but we're in the ballpark. Yeah. Here's the deal: to get you to Carolina, we have however many home basketball games. 50% of the home basketball games, I'm giving you 4 on the floor.
Oh, I like those.
4 on the floor for Carolina basketball. Done.
Caleb Wilson. Yeah, man, he's balling. I want to be right there. I've never been able to go to a game put my foot on the wood. Yeah, I'm there. Like, you let me do that because DJ, I was an unabashed Carolina basketball fan. Grew up on Dean Smith. So, like, yeah, if you threw that in, because I know my dad would be better. Like, we're sign him. We're good. Stop.
Oh, wow, they're coming at you in the chat. Drew is coming after you in the chat.
I know about the cheerleading competitions and those things. I got all that. You know, like, you throw that in.
I didn't know that existed. I did not know that existed.
I mean, like, the dreams never have to die, DJ. The dream should never die. Yeah. Like, if you're an adult, pursue whatever your pursuits are. If Belichick's fiance wants to pursue her cheerleading dreams, go after it.
Yeah, I just didn't even know that existed, but I guess it makes sense. I mean, we play, like, there's men's basketball league, there's church league. You got the beer softball leagues. You played baseball, you kind of graduate into the softball thing. You know, maybe the hockey guys. I'm sure there's adult hockey leagues. So the fact that there's co-ed cheerleading for adults, sure.
Yeah, I mean,
I guess that exists.
I'm not one to knock it. I just thought it was a professional thing, but yeah, like right now you have co-ed, amateur, adult cheerleading.
Think about you. We go to the combine for years and years. They used to have the cheerleading convention with all the little girls.
All the little girls with the things. Now we're gonna have an adult.
I'd be kind of freaked out, I think, if I went there and there was all these adults. That would kind of mess me up a little bit.
That would.
But back to the story. I got you, right? I mean, that's my way to get Bucky Brooks to sign.
Oh, 100%. Because my dad would be all over that. Like, if you say, well, tickets, I wouldn't even be able to say yes because he was like, yeah, where we sign?
Your dad was like, we're doing that. Yeah, especially local. Come on, man.
Local, come on, right?
That's
right
easy. Yeah, so I think these teams got to be creative with how they're providing these benefits. Everybody can do money in cars. Like, we got to.
I do think it's going to get to the point where it just can't be the money and stuff. When we talk about, like, seriously recruiting, it can't just be that. Like, the last couple of days, like, we've heard a couple of different coaches come Kirby Smart has talked about, like guys and signing guys. Like it might not be for us. Like we believe in physicality. If you want to check with no physicality, you're not going to be for us, and we're going to schedule to play you. Other guys have come out and talked about their process. As we get down the line with revenue share and NIL and those things, I think there has to be a greater pool than just the compensation for the types of guys that you want in the program.
Yeah, well, the other thing about that is they are still getting paid. That's not,
100%.
That's not get it twisted.
I mean,
they're not volunteering because they like the style of play. Like there is some cash involved in that whole thing. Buck, let's get to some of these games, man. It's a great weekend of games. But before we do that, I want to remind everybody that next week is one of the best weeks of the year because we've got Thanksgiving coming up. The NFL continues to honor and commemorate the late John Madden with the 4th annual John Madden Thanksgiving celebration on Thursday, November 27th. New this year, the NFL will benefit the newly created John Madden Foundation by auctioning off game-used items from the 3 Thanksgiving Day games via NFL auction, with proceeds supporting the new foundation. So great games this week, but let's get excited about what's coming up next week. 3 games on Thanksgiving and a way to honor the late, great John Madden. So looking forward to that. The game I think John Madden would really appreciate, Buck, is Steelers at the Bears, and a Bears team that's just hot as all get out against a Pittsburgh Steelers team that's been a little bit Jekyll and Hyde the last couple weeks. Yeah,
for the Bears, I think this is what we call the measuring stick game. They want to acknowledge it. They may not say it to the public, but I think internally you want to see who you are. There are a handful of franchises that will let you know who you are right away, and Pittsburgh is one of those. There's a style of play that you know you have to deal with, the ruggedness that they bring, and Mike Tomlin being an outstanding coach, he is going to test this team. And so for the Bears, if they're able to knock off the Steelers, I think it not only legitimizes them to the football world, but I think they gain a little confidence in terms of, we might be a pretty good team, regardless of what the Steelers' record is right now.
I'm excited. The Bears, I think they've been in a lot of close games. The vast majority of their games have come right down to the very end. And I do think that's a muscle. I think when you find yourself in those tight situations and you've been on the right side of it, I think it works the other way as well. When you keep losing close games, that thought creeps into your mind when you get to that point. But I'm excited to see how they hold up here. When you look at this team, Buck, when you say, okay, we got to fix the offensive line, that was the major issue for them going into the last offseason. I like the idea of doubling and tripling down. You know what I mean? Like that. Yeah. It's not just going, okay, we're going to go with the one big ticket item. They completely overhauled the interior of their offensive line aggressively with 3 moves. And you have to look at it right now, the way they've played and the way this offense looks, not just Ben Johnson, the play calling, Caleb getting better, and some of the weapons. I think a big chunk of it is, man, they solved their biggest problem.
And they solved the big problem for the quarterback. We all know you play the position, man. Inside pressure is the worst because sitting in the middle of the pocket and people are coming right at you. I mean, it just changes everything. Timing, rhythm, the passing lanes, having the trees right in your face. So solidifying the interior not only protected Caleb, but allowed them to run the football effectively. For all the things that people love about Ben Johnson, all the creativity, the fun and gun stuff that we love to see during the highlights, at his core, he wants to run the football. They want to run the football to control the game. And being able to run the football has helped the Bears, it's helped the quarterback, and it all started with them really committing to fixing it.
On the other side, Buck, with Pittsburgh, looking at them and, not only where they are now, but where they need to go in the future. And, man, I was hoping Caleb Johnson was going to be that big-time back for him. He just, they haven't really given him that opportunity. He hasn't been that. But when you look at him, it's good pieces on that offensive line, some good young pieces. I love the tight end room, the variety of the different skill sets that they possess. I like DK, got some speed out there, with Roman Wilson and some other, explosive players that they have. But, man, I just think they need a big-time back. You put a big-time back, I think that changes that offense.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously, this is a team that has always been at their best when they've had an A-plus back in the backfield. And right now, Caleb Johnson's trying to figure out they're not getting enough from the run game to be able to create those big play opportunities to DK Metcalf. And they're not quite, I would say, savvy enough to kind of spread it out and go empty and let Aaron Rodgers throw it 40 times, nor is he ready to be that player. So they do need something to offset some of the deficiencies that they have at quarterback and with, I would say, like the construction of their offense, despite having an intriguing offensive line. And, oh, by the way, our guy that we loved in the draft, Washington, the big tight end that's really masquerading. he is over here knocking people around, and he is catching an occasional pass. So it's not what we thought. Like in college, what you would do is like, hey, buddy, we can give you 88 your freshman year. Then you show up spring and 77s in the locker. Yeah, it hasn't materialized, but they've been able to kind of get away with it with 12 and 13 personnel.
I still think that's coming. I still think that day is coming. All right, let's keep it rolling here. This feels, I don't want to say an elimination game. That's maybe harsh, but the Chiefs, Buck, they are up against it if they don't get past the Indianapolis Colts, and a Colts team that should be raring to go in this one.
They should be raring to go. Coming off a bye week, the Colts team is interesting because now, like, they've had a full opportunity to figure out what to do with Sauce Gardner as it relates to that defense. And when you look at this secondary they're going to have with him and Travaris Ward, some of the young safeties they have with Cam Bynum being a big part of that, they're really good, man. They're ready to go. And even though they're going to play this week without DeForest Buckner, Lou Anarumo has done a really good job of being creative and adding more complexity to their scheme. For the Kansas City Chiefs, man, they got to figure out how they're going to get this done. Because I'm telling you, DJ, and you and I've said it, man, without a big-time running back, like, I won't say they're easy to defend, but they are a very one-dimensional offense that doesn't have a lot of the explosiveness that we're used to seeing. This defense is a good matchup for the Kansas City Chiefs right now.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this game. Again, it almost feels somewhat like an elimination game for the Chiefs, a game they absolutely must win to keep their playoff hopes alive. All right, Eagles, Cowboys. I think we might be underselling the Cowboys a little bit. I know everybody thinks, you talk about the Cowboys too much and looking at all the decisions that were made and people didn't love Micah leaving and overpaid for Quinnen Williams, this, that, and the other. I think what's being lost, Buck, is this offense is as good as any offense in the NFL right now.
Man, it's humming. And we thought it had that potential because everyone knows what George Pickens is when he's locked and loaded. And he's been locked in. Obviously, it's a contract year, but you have him and CeeDee Lamb on opposite sides. Man, they create quite the dilemma for a defensive coordinator because Jake Ferguson also can dominate over the middle of the field. And when Dak Prescott is healthy and they're able to keep him upright, he's as good as anybody in terms of spinning the ball and taking advantage of the firepower. To me, when it comes to the Cowboys is, can they just play well enough on defense to get a couple stops? Just a few stops, because that offense can roll. And it looked like maybe they turned a corner. Quinnen Williams, Kenny Clark, they have Logan Wilson in the hopper where they've added some experience up front with that front line. You saw Matt Eberflus dial it up a little more. Maybe, just maybe, this would be a big game because if they can get a win here, now the confidence comes up, and then we have to have the discussion about the Cowboys being back.
I made this comment the other day, and we kind of just kept the train moving, but I wanted to look it up here and pull up the numbers. So Micah Parsons last year against Philly, he had 2 sacks in a 34-6 loss, 2 tackles and 2 sacks in that one. Then he had 2 tackles, no sacks, but did have a TFL and a loss 41-7. So the 2 games last year, they lost 34-6 and 41-7 with Micah Parsons. I'm not trying to compare the players, but I would say in terms of how to defeat the Philadelphia Eagles, this version of their defense without Micah Parsons, but with 3 legit big-time defensive tackles, is better equipped to play the Philadelphia Eagles than the team with Micah last year.
Yeah, there's more depth, more balance when it comes to it. I'll say this. Quinnen Williams is a dominant player on the interior, and Kenny Clark is a really good football player. We talked about the way the league is trending where you have to be dominant inside. They now have 2 veterans that can certainly get it done.
Digazua is not a throwaway now. That's 3 dudes,
that was the next one. And that's the next one. So we talk about being able to attack in waves. They could give the Eagles a little bit of their own defensive medicine in terms of the depth and the talent coming. They don't have the edge players that the Eagles have, but, man, the waves of bodies that they can throw on the inside, they can make life challenging for the Eagles.
Yeah, I actually picked the Cowboys to win that game. Ooh! Yeah, they're 4-5-1. The Eagles are 8-2, but it just feels like the Cowboys got it rolling right now. So we'll see on that one. All right, let's get to a couple more here. Bucks, Rams. That's a fun one. What do you think?
Man, that is a real fun one. DJ, I'm going to say this. I'm going to give you credit because I think you're on the front end of the observation when it came to the Rams and 13 personnel. DJ, what they're doing out of 13 personnel is amazing. They are maximizing their talent. They're creating all kinds of schematic headaches for opponents because you don't know how to match up with the variety of formations and packages that they can do with those 3 tight ends on the field. And because they can run it, because they can create these snug sets, because Matthew Stafford is comfortable. I think when I looked at the research back, he has 13 touchdowns out of 13 personnel groupings. He has the most passing yards and all this out of these heavy formation sets. They are just making life easy for a veteran quarterback who doesn't need any assistance. This is going to be a tough matchup for Todd Bowles in terms of trying to figure out how they want to attack the Rams offense when they're going so heavily invested in this heavy package.
Never asked you this before, but someone who's played, obviously on both sides of the ball, but the defensive side of the ball, how much time would you guys spend during the season just in terms of alignment? Like basically like all the different looks and formations you can get. How much was, because we always hear about, alignment, assignment, execution, all the, the catchphrases, all that kind of stuff. But I'm watching 13 personnel every week, Buck, and I swear I'm seeing these defenses misalign consistently against 13 personnel.
It's funny because you always reference Jim Schwartz, and Jim Schwartz talked about multiple tight end packages being the hardest to align because they create extra gaps depending on how you use both tight ends or how you use all three tight ends. Do you put them on opposite ends? If you put them all together, now it creates like a 5 by one side. So it's really an unbalanced line. Do you bump over? How do you shift? If you're a team that motions and changes the strength of formation, that's an all-day sucker. So, DJ, you talk about just the alignment part. You have to dedicate like a 10-minute period daily to get lined up, on top of dealing with the plays that they run out of those things and the various iterations that they can do and anticipating what's next coming out of it. It's a headache. And what they found, they've exploited the margins because what you asked me is the same thing that the head coach has to ask the D coordinator. Hey, man, how much time do we need on the practice script to devote to just shifts, motions, alignment? That takes away the time that you can devote to stopping their main plays. It's a great thing. And you see more and more teams lean into it. But, man, Sean McVay, his wizardry, they've created a problem.
Yeah, I always think about every sport, right? You're trying to create some hesitation and some doubt in teams that are playing defense. And I'm sitting here thinking of what we saw with Stanford, going back to the Harbaugh Shaw days. Like,
yes,
it's the same exact stuff they were doing. And they shift in. Sometimes there's a sixth offensive lineman out there. Sometimes there's a seventh offensive lineman out there. Then you've got 3 tight ends. One's in the backfield. And you're like, man, like I can stop the tape before the play and be like, look at the bubble that's over here, man. Like they cannot be aligned properly and it's just gashed.
And I will say this, and it relates to that, but Hugh Jackson used to talk to me about unbalanced line because when he was offensive coordinator for a while in Cincinnati, they were big on like unbalanced, super unbalanced, and those things. This reminds me of the same conversation. And he was like, you call it 6 to 8 times a game because you know that they're going to miss a line one time. And the one time they miss a line, it's a touchdown. Yep. It's the same thing that we're seeing with the Rams. Yeah, you may line up right initially. They'll put it away, then come back to it. And then the one time that you mess up, it ends up being a huge play. They're onto something, and it's one of those things that you have to talk about. You got to spend a lot of time on.
Yeah, how important is the green dot in that situation? Obviously, you get the benefit now of having a coach in your headset for a little bit, but man, the communication of that green dot is going to be very, very important.
So what they do is they force you to simplify everything. So now you're so scared of the package, you've given them the ability to dictate the terms, and that's what every offensive coach wants. I now know that when we trot this out there, we're going to see 1 or 2 looks. They spend all their time scheming up winners for those 2 or 3 looks. You've given Sean McVay a huge advantage. So, yeah, because of your fear for having a lineup with all the different things that they can do out of that look, you made the game simple, and everybody loves vanilla ice cream, DJ. It's the most popular flavor out there. So now you're giving Sean McVay an opportunity to have his choice of vanilla ice cream. He loves it.
I think I know the answer to this question because you're just trying to win games right now. But it feels like this is going to be the first of 2 matchups between the Rams and the Bucs. Like they're going to see each other again. More than likely, these 2 playoff teams going to run into each other. So, people always wonder, hey, do you save something for the next time you see them? And I'm like, it's the NFL, man. It can change quick. You've got to just win ball games. So go out there, get this thing in the bag. And then when you play them the next time, you build off what you did. But I get asked that question some. It's like, you're going to play a team another time? I'm like, NFL, there's only 17 games, man. You can't afford to do that.
And you can't get too cute. You can't start worrying about too far in advance. What you do is you take care of what's right in front of you. And if you happen to face them again, you deal with that at that point. And you'll use the first matchup to help you in the second one. But this one, you're all in on making sure that you put together your best performance this week, and you worry about future matchups down the line.
Real quick look at the Monday game, and we'll have a chance to be together again before that. But we've got the Panthers and the 49ers. Just real quick on that one. I picked the Panthers. I don't need the grief from them, man. They're coming at me hard. Maybe that's impacted my pick a little bit. But this is kind of like one of those games where, okay, you win this one, and all of a sudden we got to perk up a little bit and say this is a legitimate playoff caliber team. And
to be honest with the Panthers, every time you're ready to dismiss them and discount them, they snatch an opponent down. You know what I mean? Like every time you're like, okay, like this was a nice little run. They're back. Monday night game, you know how Monday night games, DJ, they're going to play. I mean, it's the first time that the national audience would get a chance to see the new version of the Carolina Panthers. The quarterback and all these players recognize it. So that energy is going to be a little different from the Panthers. For the Niners, this is one where you got to squash that right away. Like you got to impose your will on them right away. You got to make sure that you jump on them and don't give them any life, because if they get life, they have proven to be very, very difficult. And if they're able to run the football like they've been able to run it with Rico Dowdell, it's a problem.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, man. I don't know if is there such thing as like do they do gymnastics for older people too as well? Like what other sports can we do as we get older? Like, they have like a little gym, the little tiny gym where you can go with all the toddlers. I don't know if they do that as well. I mean,
if you want to go to Sky Zone or somewhere and jump around and bounce around, you can
maybe a ball pit. Do they do ball pits for adults?
I mean, I'm seeing people have adult kickball leagues and dodgeball leagues and those things, but yeah, I mean,
like a jungle gym, like swings. Like let's do an adult playground. Why not? Let's keep this thing going here. Trendsetters there in Chapel Hill. All right, that's gonna do it for us. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. We'll see you next time right here on Move the Sticks.